start, Bob McEntee.
Thank you. All right. I wasn't going to do this at first, but Eric said he needed a few more people, and when I went back and went over all the things that I've done over the years, I realized that I had quite a bit. And of course, I'd love to win, but also, as I said earlier, because I feel, I was able to leave a career I really did not enjoy to do something that I love. So if I can, give something to somebody else that, one little tip that might help you to do the same. I think a lot of people make an error when they're transitioning. They don't realize the amount of work that's involved. I was very fortunate when I was ready to leave engineering. I went to them and said, hey, I want to leave, and this is what I'm doing, and all that. So they gave me an opportunity. They said, well, can you work like 4 days a week, 8-hour days, 32 hours. So I made a deal with them. I said, I'll work 3 days, 10-hour days. I still got benefits. So I was working 3 days a week. But because I wasn't there every day, I didn't realize it was going to work out like this. They couldn't really put me on important projects. So I sort of was like on the side, and they didn't really give me a lot of work. I was able to do what I had to do in less than 1 day. All I did was, then I was learning copywriting. And I think sales writing is really the key to the vault. I'll try to go a little, through just a very little with you. I'm going to have to talk fast, so I'm just going to throw a lot of ideas out. If you have questions, I'm not going to be able to go into detail, but please see me. I'm glad to share. Let me just start with, results. Not that a front page picture is everything, but when they did an article on Long Island magicians, the lady called me and said, we want to put you on the cover, and I was like totally out of the blue, and I was like, well, how did you find me or whatever? And she just kind of laughed, and she said, well, she was wondering why I was even asking that. It was all the different things that I've done. She'd seen different promos from different shows, and it's not any one thing. It's the synergy of everything together rather than just talking about one campaign. I'm just going to throw out a lot of different ideas. Once you get something like this, if you can track your Google Analytics went crazy for the next couple of days, but also now once they have your picture, then I did the Fringe Festival on Long Island last year. I wasn't a headline act. I was the only magician in it, but because they already had my picture on file, of the 50 acts that were in it, I was the only one that in the entertainment section that then got the picture. And now it's how you use that. I mean, of course, I'm going to continue using that through the promo. Let me just go through a little bit of sales copy. I've got 2 files here. And this isn't even everything. These are just originals. The first letter I have here is my school fundraiser letter. Okay. Basic copywriting techniques for those of you who don't know some of the basics. Big, bold, benefit-oriented headline. Dual readership path. I believe the more you tell, the more you sell, but not everyone's going to read everything. So you need to italicize and bold, give them benefits. Online I have, and I'm just talking about offline stuff here. I don't have time for all the online stuff. But in the online stuff, I weave the testimonials through the copy. In the sales letters, I'm adding the copy. Multiple streams of readership, multiple means of response. So they can respond by email, phone, time, urgency. In the school fundraiser, it's the 50-50 split, but if you respond within 30 days, I'm going to cap the amount I can make at a certain amount. PS is just like an online. People read the beginning and the end of things much more. Google actually puts more rank in the beginning and the end of a page, so that's where you want to get in strong benefits. What in it for them? You're writing copy, getting it to get in their head. Magicians were too ego, we're too in it about this is what I do. No, every letter I wrote, I think about the market. What are their problems? Pain, agitate, solve. I'll give you an example. I was on Long Island, the Eastern End. There's these beautiful wineries. I was trying to get into them. I knew it would be a good market. I wasn't getting in. I finally wrote a perfect letter to them. You grow great grapes, but you just can't get enough people into your winery. The same way that Dave D first got some of you guys into the magic marketing, and it was really benefit oriented. I just did my first winery, and that's going to be a regular thing now. The other things with, you want to have a secondary reason for them to respond. So I do this in a lot, but for an example, in sticking with the school fundraiser, also another reason they're going to respond is respond and you get top 10 secrets of an easy, guaranteed, successful fundraiser for your school. This sets the buying criteria because this walks them through why they don't want to do candy. Most schools can't or don't want to anymore. They don't want their kids going around selling things. A family show is going to bring your school community together. And then it subtly, very subtly sets the buying criteria because there's certain things that I do that other people don't that then they're going to have to go with magic beyond imagination. Tons of testimonials, all specific testimonials. Obviously, you don't want to send kid testimonials to corporate, but take it even a step further. For a particular school show, I'm going to send testimonials that are relevant to whether it's my character ed show, my read show, my fundraiser show, it's all relevant. I generate these with the questionnaires. I've started using the flip camera. As someone pointed out, the video now is becoming extremely important. Try different headlines. You know, on and on with different letters, easily trick students to read more. You want to try to make some of your marketing viral. Every kid at a party goes home with this. I don't say, here, take home an advertisement for my show. It's take home, 6 magic tricks, okay, the Ed Harris. Then I have information with a discount coupon, and then also multiple streams. This became an affiliate for a discounted kids clothing, so that's on there as well. When I was doing showcases, I don't really have time to do a lot of them anymore, but some of the schools and stuff, I like the folders. When I first started, I was creating stuff on Microsoft Publisher. You can get some, fairly good things made. It's mainly they're interested in the content. We're in a visual art, so the stuff has to look good. But then I went to a graphic artist, and for all my postcard campaigns now, I'm having a graphic artist do that. But the nice thing about the folders is, no matter what the programs are, I can customize what one-sheeters I want to put in here. Here's my Take Pride program, my Teacher Accelerated Learning in the Classroom program. Okay, what I wanted to do is I needed to sort of create 2 separate images because I still have one foot in the kids' world. I still do the kids' parties. I am proud of it. But, the schools pay a little bit better. Now it's down a little bit. But then I'm doing the adult speaking, too. It's all sort of educational, which is maybe the little niche. But I needed to separate the 2. So when I first started working with graphic artists, they were coming up with rabbit in the hats and things like that I didn't want anything to do with. I wanted to brand it specifically to me. So these were the original pictures that the logo art came from, okay? Here was my general kid family postcard of me holding the rabbit, testimonial, bulleted benefits, long copy. They graphic artists fought me, oh, you got too much words on there, not enough white space. Well, we know better, and as long as it's written well. So I had them take these images and then create these image art logos, so now it is specifically me. So Bob McEntee for the adults, Magic Bob, I'm still using, I don't really like Magic Bob, but it's easy for kids to remember. Then I use everything else. Little notepads that you stick on, just a quick little note on a contract. Again, it's branded with the same image, the same logo, my USP's on there, my website's on there, multiple means of contacting me. A notepad for handwritten thank you letters for every single show, but a nice professional note that I can go on. Mailing labels, return labels, again with the same image on it, depending on the market. Other return address labels, artistic direct. I've got different ones that are specific to, for the different programs that I'm sending, what I'm trying to sell. Every piece you send out has to have a specific offer, urgency, time deadline, reasons why they need to respond. So I have different labels that go along with that. I use the clear ones on the postcards. This is the original adult postcard. Then we went to this one here. Was done by graphic artists. Then for the schools, I was going to do a catalog, but I wanted to get a one-piece that I could just drop in the mail for a single postage stamp. This has information on 4 of my school programs, but I can target this by who I send the postcard to. Certain schools, the guidance counselors book them. Certain schools, the PTAs book them. Sometimes it's the librarian, so I kind of know for which program I'm trying to, I can send the same postcard to a school multiple times by addressing it to a different person. Goes in a regular stamp. And there's testimonials on there. It's sort of a short form sales letter, but it's in a piece that they're going to instantly see. Then everything else is used that you can possibly imagine. Business cards. Okay, we started with the regular kids business card. You need multiple business cards if you're doing different things. I'm a lot more niche down than I was in the beginning, but I have a basic kids card. I have a basic adult card. On the back, there's sort of benefit things that they're going to be interested in. Then I have one specifically for schools, not talking about magic. It says reading motivation, character education, geography and science, positive theme, fun, on and on. Then we used your graphic artists can do all kinds of things. Fireworks around a picture, the magnet cards. These are things that they're going to want to hold on to. The pens. These are the pens that they use. Real quick, when I was talking about the sales copy, These are all the different letters I just wrote down off my hard drive when I had that period at work that I was able to put together. Getting in the heads of the people for all these different markets, using some copy from letters but customizing it for their markets. Adult parties, bar mitzvahs, that one's made me a lot of money in New York. Birthday parties, camps, centers, that's like YMCAs. Think about these things. These are markets that you maybe haven't thought of. Chambers of commerce, country clubs, corporate. I have one for walk-arounds. I don't use all of these a lot, but if someone calls and you know, they're calling about one of these jobs, you got to fax, because I have some of it on my website, not all of it. Corporate walk-around, corporate after dinner. Every time I send a letter out, if I'm going to tweak it a little bit. You're never done with your marketing. Daycares, event planners, fairs, farms, fire departments, fundraisers, hospitals, hotels, art councils, libraries. I have many different pieces for libraries in different departments in libraries, museums, organizations, park departments, restaurants, resorts, schools, many different school promo pieces, tour groups, trade shows, weddings, wineries, and youth organizations. Not that now I'm much more niche down, but when I was first learning it, I wanted to touch on everything. Instant author books, back of the room sales, these also become branded because you did it. You know, and just be careful of this joke book. Thank God I read this one before I did this in the schools. They have jokes about perverted nuns and drunks in here, you know. It's crazy. Okay, then, how much time I got? About, what I got, 2-3 minutes? Oh.
Music's good.
Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, so grabbers in mailings. Yeah, started with $1 million bills. Went with a stamp, okay, on these, but there's a lot better things that you can do. Other grabbers that I've used are tea bags, have a cup of tea on me, little packets of aspirin, having a headache about planning this year's holiday party, those type of things. So the stamps work on some of the grabbers. On business cards, it's just a system. If I'm doing walk around, close up, everybody gets a business card. I never hand anybody a business card. What do I mean by that? I never say, here, take my card, it's done with a trick. I love all the out to lunch tricks. If you do them, get the Doc Eason little clip. It's a lot more professional than the broccoli rubber band. This is Escher-esque by Darryl. It kills. 2 people, it happens once. They're going to keep it. Their image melts onto a card. It's got one of my stickers on here with a benefit, my website, and my phone number. Then we do at least once, I mean, I stay in contact with main customers a lot more, but at least once a year. I mean, I have multiple databases. On most of those different sales letters that I have a database. You need to learn merge, one thing, and Word, Excel, it's lousy. I learned it all on WordPerfect. Unfortunately, you can't get databases that's compatible with it, but I still do it. I have databases, so those letters are going to go out. But once a year, I stay in touch with all my, birthday party people with these sort of cards. Holiday card tells them where, they can look at my schedule on my website. This was, another great thing. I know a lot of people use the dollar bills. You drop this on the ground. How many times do you have kids fighting over your business card? If they think it's real, they pick it up. It's funny to watch the expression on their face, and then they see it's not real. Benefit-oriented copy here. The last thing I'm probably going to have a chance to touch on is in last year's card, real quick, because the story is so compelling. I didn't want to put my logo picture on my shirt and sell that. It seemed a little too vain. I came up with a corporate spokesperson. We adopted a dog from China. He was lying in the bottom of a cage. No one wanted him, and they didn't know what was wrong with him. We took him home. He had a ball in his stomach. Okay, here he is. His Chinese name was Agen. It was right when Ronald Reagan died. We named him Reagan, and Reagan is now writing letters. They were having a howling good time with the magic over here, at Bob McEntee. So now we got the shirt here, and it's compelling. People are gonna, they're gonna remember this. It's gonna attract initial interest. We've got copy on the back there. Everywhere, you always use double-sided. So, Ray, and when my rabbit, personality and marketing, you got to bring everything out. When my rabbit was retiring, boom, letter went out. Hey, it's Mr. B here. 10 years I've been in, working. This is going to be my last year. I reactivated a customer that remembered it was the first year I'd used them. It was like 10 years earlier. Oh, wow, I remember that rabbit, and I actually got a job out of it. So we got hats now we can sell with this sort of thing on it. Those are just some of the ideas. On the car, no one can match John Carlson's car, but I do have the magnetic signs. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this thing. It's called card caddies, little piece of plastic that goes over your business card. My car is parked right in front of the people when they, if I'm doing a kid's party. If they're coming, out of the party, they see the magnetic sign. This little thing opens up here. It says here, business cards here. I've gotten a lot of cards like, calls like this. It's cardcaddy.com, I believe. If you want to know sources for anything else, you can see me. different creative ways to give away the business card with the money card. Every other person I show a magic trick to gets a $20 bill. I'm sorry, you're the other person, so you get a 100. You know. So, but they like it. You know, they get it. If you're not using Hot Leads by Jim Pace to give your card away, that's a great effect. I've got some of those CDs if you're interested in those illusion stuff, the Iranian guy. So thank you so much, and great. Okay.
That's my name, Ted Peterson. I want to start off a little bit with my philosophy, and this goes back to not just my favorite band, but these lyrics right here kind of sum it up. Half the world thinks while the other half does. And the last year, since I've been here at the Super Conference, it's been all about taking more action and just trying a whole bunch of new stuff, trying some old things. What I did is I achieved some goals that I had set last year, which helped me out a lot. And then I set some new ones. This is my new website. I owe a lot of this to my wife, my accountability partner, Mark Worse, and David Farr. Is he still in here? Anyway, David Farr helped me out with a lot of this too. Right down here, one thing I'd like to mention, I mentioned about the online videos earlier, and this right here is just an introduction video. I kind of got this idea from Kennedy, and some other people that I've seen on Twitter had some introduction videos, and I'm getting more hits off this one video. Maybe it's because you know, it's at the top, but one of the things I found with working with birthday mothers, which is my predominant market, is they really don't have an opportunity to get to know me before I show up to do the show. Okay, I'm using David Farr's amazing system. They sign up for it. It's almost automatic when they fill out that booking form, and you know, they're getting all the updates automatically through the autoresponders. They get one phone call from me confirming the event 3 days before I go out to do the show. So how are they really going to get to know me? So I put this video up there, and it has helped a lot, and it is getting a lot of views. One of the other things I wanted to do, I wanted to spend more time with my family. This past year, due to some unforeseen circumstances, my brother was injured in Afghanistan, so I've been spending a lot more time with him, trying to help out him and his family. And because of coming to the Super Conference, because I've continued with marketing, I've had the money to be able to go and do this kind of stuff and be there and support my family. Happy marriage. This is one of my favorite photos. Behind every great man, there's at least one great woman, if not more. I think Napoleon had 3, didn't he? 3. So anyway, my wife supports me 100% in what I do, and I could not do any of this without her love and support. And she is truly amazing, and I'm just blessed to have her in my life. Okay, another big one. I quit smoking. Okay. I had talked about doing this for about a year, and it's been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I'm not quite there yet. I'm a little over 2 months now, and I've only had 3 cigarettes in that time since I quit. So I'm still working on it. Kennedy, you got to check out that video I made for you. All right. I tried to implement a lot of different strategies. One of the common themes that you're going to hear throughout this weekend is not to put all your eggs in the same basket. Don't build your table on one leg. And these here are the things that I've been focusing on, is the direct mail, my new website, the amazing system, online video, social media, GKIC, which is a Dan Kennedy local chapter meeting that I go to, and some live networking. I work with 4 different entertainment agencies in Connecticut, and they really keep me busy during the downtime, so there's a tip right there. And then Eric's mentor program. I've actually done 3 mentor programs in the last year, And I can honestly say that probably that's one of the biggest things that has affected my business. And I truly owe Eric and Tim David and Bill just so much. Just from their coaching programs and that kind of stuff has helped me tremendously. Okay. Whoop. There we go. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today, I wanted to be able to give you guys some tools that you could use. And I'm going to focus on the daycare market for just a couple of minutes because this was one of my most successful campaigns last year. Believe it, any idea who Frosty is in this picture, by the way? Your wife. That's my lovely wife. Thank you very much. She actually puts that costume on and goes out and does the shows with me, okay? I'm just going to hand this around. This actually turned into a 5-step mailing, and the reason why it's a 5-step mailing is I had 57 daycares book me last year, and this was all planned out. Eric helped me out with this tremendously as far as the timing. He said, look, Ted, you gotta have this out, and it's got to be out by the day after Thanksgiving. That's when you want them to get your sales letter, okay? And we had a 4-step campaign. I did 2 follow-up letters, you know, just reminding them, hey, this is coming up. We gave it a deadline, you know, December 31st, so there was some urgency to reply. And anyway, it became a 5-step because what I did this year is everybody who booked the program last year, I sent them out another letter this year, but it was 3 weeks earlier. Okay? Just saying, by the way, Frosty is coming again. And you're getting early notification because you booked the program last year. So you get top pick of what days you want. I can do multiple bookings for your daycare centers. A lot of my centers, like KinderCare, there's like 15 different KinderCares in Connecticut. And a lot of times I'll book one, and then the rest of them want to book 2. So they've got top priority as far as getting the dates and times that they want, and they're getting it at a discounted price. They're getting it at last year's price. And I tell them right up front, you know, I try to keep my pricing low, but with the economy and gas and all this kind of stuff, I do have to increase it a little bit. But if you book by the 1st of December, you're going to get it at last year's pricing. And that has worked really good. This is just some of the letter here while it's coming around. I'm not sure where it's at, but I've got headlines, sub-headlines. You guys know all that stuff by now. I always end with a PS or 2. Another one that I wanted to talk about a little bit was my local GKIC meetings have been just tremendous. I'm meeting people that I never would have met anyplace else at these meetings. And I'm getting information that I never would have gotten from just, like if I said, well, you know what, these people aren't magicians, they don't really understand what I'm trying to do. That's completely the wrong attitude to have, because you can get information from all kinds of people, and you should. They're all there to increase their businesses. They're there to, you know, help you increase your business. I also do Toastmasters, and I also do NSA, also, as far as networking. But my last networking meeting, and I wanted to share this with you guys because this is really, really cool. We were talking about autoresponders and thank yous. And one of the guys there, he says to me, he says, look, what you need to do is after you do the party, he said, you have a thank you that goes out, right? And I'm like, yeah. He says, what you want to do is you want to put in that email, you know, ask them for the testimonial and that kind of stuff, but then also ask them if they wouldn't mind going on to Facebook and just putting a comment on their Facebook for you, okay? And that's going into my autoresponder this week, by the way. And it's killer. He says, do it this way. Make it super easy for them. Write out what you want them to type in there. Then all they have to do is copy and paste it for you. Pretty cool, huh? I thought so. This is a couple of authors that I met at one of my Dan Kennedy meetings. They're the author of this book right here, Appreciation Marketing. Okay? Eric Paul is constantly talking about your influence, and I plan on using that photo on my upcoming website. There's myself, Julian Franklin, and David Farr. Okay? How can I not use that photo? That's killer. Love it. I'm using a lot of online video, as I've already said. I've got, I think, 25 or 30 different videos online now. My goal by the end of November is to have 50 online videos. The key with the online videos is you want to pick a keyword-rich title and then keep your tags and your descriptions as keyword content, you know, as well as you possibly can. That's what's going to drive the traffic to your website. Make sure that you put a link to your website right in the description of the video. I think Eric Paul has mentioned that, I don't know, what, 50 times? 60? Yeah, right at the beginning. That's the first thing you want to type in there, is you want to type in your website. And that'll create a live link right there. My mentor program with Eric was probably the best coaching program I've ever been in. And if you guys do not have his mentor CDs, if you guys didn't participate in that program, you need to get your hands on that. It will change not only the way you think about your business, but how you feel about yourself. It'll just change your entire life. It really did. One of the other things that Eric brought up last year at the Super Conference, and somebody already brought this up here too, is your big reason why. Why are we doing this? It's not just for the money. There's lots of easier ways to make money. All right? What's your big motivation for doing it? If you don't have one, you need to find one, because there is going to be some hard times. You're going to have problems in your life, whether it's business problems, whether it's personal problems, whatever it is. You need to have a reason to keep going. What's your motivation for keeping up with it? This is my motivation right here. When I go to a show, my #1 goal is to make them kids happy, right there. I don't care about mom and dad. I care about the kids. I do to a point. I don't want to tick them off, okay? But my main goal is those kids. I want them to have a fantastic time. Over here, that's my 3 boys. And I love them. And that's why I get up, and that's why I go to work, and that's why I do what I do. Down here is a picture of my mom and myself visiting my brother in the hospital. And then over here was my wedding day, one of the happiest days of my life. That's my motivation right there. And I'd just like to pose a question: which half the world are you? If you guys are here at this conference, you've already taken the first step. You've already started to take action. And I'd like to encourage everyone to keep taking action throughout the year. Thank you very much.
Adam Tarbox.
All right. All right, my presentation isn't quite as well planned out as everybody else's. I kind of emailed Eric about 3 days ago and said, hey, what are you guys doing for the Marketer of the Year contest this year? He's like, hey, you should be in it. And so I'm like, well, I didn't have anything ready yet. He's like, all right, I'll figure something out. My name's Adam with Sky High Entertainment, with these 2 guys over here. And I'm going to talk to you today about nothing real general, just a couple ideas that I had, really, called impact marketing. It's two things that I'm kind of thinking of. Really, the reason why I'm talking about this, because I just did a complete change in mindset as far as marketing goes. I love the sales letters and I love all that kind of stuff, but I feel like we need to find a way to create memorable experience with potential clients and prospects before we even book them. And I think if we can figure out a way to do that, then the chances of us booking them are even better. So the goal is to design campaigns that have a viral effect. And I'll just read this out. We're magicians, so why not have marketing campaigns and messages that show potential clients and prospects that you're a fun and creative person. Our goal should be to do something so fun and outside the box to create an experience for our prospective clients and prospects, not just a mailing or a video or whatever, that they actually take it to show other people what you sent to them or did for them. Something to get them talking to others about you, whether they even book you or not. I'll give you some examples. Some of these I've used, some of them I haven't. First is the treasure chest, a lottery ticket. magazine covers, message in a bottle, x-ray mailer, and greeting cards. I think I have my laptop bag over here. Just look for the magazine cover. The first one I'm going to talk to you about, I've actually got samples of these ones because we did this as a fundraising campaign for schools. I've got 2 of these. We didn't make a whole lot of these for you guys, but feel free to go through them and whatnot. The reason why I like this campaign was the first thing, it was we sent it out to potential fundraising clients in schools, and it wasn't a first step mailer. No, it's in an envelope. It was not a first step mailer. It was something that we sent to them after they requested more information for them. Yeah. So we did not send a whole lot of these out because, quite frankly, the initial mailings that we have, I don't think pulled as well as we'd like them to. We sent about 8 of these chests out. We got 2 people to book a fundraising show. This is about a 20% response rate. This is another thing that I found. It doesn't have anything to do with, I just think it's a cool idea with the magazine cover. The reason why I really like these, and this right here is a system recovery. We use this for, the reason why I really like these treasure chests is because even the people that did not book us for fundraising events that year, for whatever reason it may be, we got calls from these people, not us calling them. They called us and said, hey, we got your chest in this weekend. That was so awesome. My kids got it, and they started going through it, and blah, blah, and so it was a really cool piece. The next one is a lottery ticket. I haven't tried this out yet, but I'm thinking it will be a good idea. We found a place where and I'll give you the resource for this at the end, a place where we can get custom lottery tickets, scratch-offs printed off. And what we're going to do is we're going to put up on, and you can use this for any campaign, and you have use it kind of as a grabber up at the top with the headline that says something like, why gamble with other magicians? Go with whoever you are. And then let them know that you put that up there for multiple reasons. And one of the reasons why is because you want to offer them a discount on your show. And since it's a lottery, they can get $50, $100, or $150 off, or whatever the price range is that you want to go on there. And the trick is, with the psychology thing, is it's always $150, or whatever the highest one is. Because this way, when the client scratches it off and sees that they won the highest one, they're more likely to use that, I think. Next is the magazine cover, and that's kind of going around. And I saw this. It was sent to one of my friends who's really big in the can I get this real quick? Really big in the pitch industry, and this got sent to his office, and what it is they send it in. I don't like the inside of it. I just like the way that it arrives. And so basically you create a little magazine about these people kind of as a template. And it looks just like a magazine, but it's got their name in there, their company name in there, or their school or whatever. And it tells them what you are going to do for their school. Kind of like a tear sheet, but with more color and more impact, I think. And I think that, there you go. The next thing is a message in a bottle. We can probably use this one for if we do library shows this year for the library mailings, which is basically sending your message in a bottle, similar to the treasure chest. X-ray mailer, we've heard about that like 3,000 times today. And then greeting cards, specifically send out cards, which is a really good company. It's kind of like creating an auto-response series in direct mail with send out cards. You can send it out on people's birthdays and all sorts of different stuff like that, way to keep in contact with your clients. The next thing I want to talk about is something called reciprocal marketing. I know I didn't invent this at all, but I'd like to think I did, because I thought about this, and I invented the title. I don't know if anybody's using that, but the reason that I had behind this is we do a lot of summer camps, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit. I would like you guys to help a little bit with something that we're doing with summer camps right at the end here. But we do a lot of summer camps, and we realize that when we go into these summer camps, there's no other magicians that can go into these places because we give them so much more than we say we're going to give them. We tell them we're going to give them a magic program, and that's all we really promise them. But then we give them a magic shows throughout the year. We give them we'll go to camp fairs, which has an ulterior motive for us as well. And then we also go and do their open houses and whatnot to help increase attendance to the camp itself, as well as our program, which also is an ulterior motive for us, but we put it in terms of them. So The idea with reciprocal marketing is I thought about it this way. If you guys remember, if you guys think about, like, if those of you that celebrate Christmas or your birthday or whatever, if somebody gets you a present or a gift and you kind of don't really know, you know who they are, you're just kind of an acquaintance with them, a lot of people feel obligated to get them something in return. It's nothing that you really think about, but it's kind of just happens in the back of your mind. And I think if we can, we're starting to put a campaign together where all of our campaigns is going to have some sort of reciprocal marketing element in there. So the idea is to give first, and they'll feel indebted to you and feel thankful for everything that you do for them right from the get-go, which is a good situation to be in. Eben Pagan, who's a big marketing guy, he talks about it called moving the free line. If you give away some of your stuff, people are more apt to get more from you. So instead of thinking about what shows can I do for them or what events can I help them out with, think of how can I help this person or group without expecting anything in return and still feel good about it, whether it leads to something or not. So I'm not saying give away a show, your whole show, but maybe give away something that can help them out as well and has a high perceived value that maybe if you make something from it, great. If you don't, then you're fine too. So continuation of that. I figure the more you do for someone, the more they want to do for you. One of the things that we're going to be doing, and we haven't implemented this yet, but I think it's a good idea. I came up with it. I don't remember where we came up with this. We're going to do this for the school show market and for our camp market. Instead of marketing to them for booking shows and whatnot, we're going to market a free seminar on how they can get more people into their camps, as well as a free dinner. So now we're not trying to sell them on anything. We're trying to sell them on giving them food. And who doesn't want free food? You know? So that'll help with it'll also help with your referrals and repeat businesses, because we find that a lot of people, even if they do business with or if they don't do business with, if we're giving, they feel obligated to give something back. Even if they don't book us, they refer us to other people as well. So that creates a relationship in which you are the go-to person for all of their entertainment needs, and they will not settle for anyone else, as evidence in our camps that we're using these strategies in. So you become an indispensable part of their team and not them hiring you to do whatever. So the mindset when marketing is to treat potential clients and prospects as friends and market to them as such, not as people who are going to potentially be giving you money. Treat them as your friends. So think about what someone could send to you or say to you to persuade you to do what they desire, and try to apply what you do in your marketing and advertising plan. Be sure to be as personable as possible and as friendly as possible. These are just a couple resources. The printdirectforless.com, that is where you can get the scratch-off lottery tickets. And the 3dmailresults.com is where you can get a lot of really good stuff, the message in the bottles, all sorts of different stuff like that. Real quick, everybody's got on their desk right now, let me get one of those so I'm not stealing anybody's, these cards. These cards are really cool. We use these in our fundraising shows, and they serve three purposes. One is to get them at the back of the room. We use them in replace of the jumbo dollar bills or whatever else that you might have. And the reason we use these is they cost a little bit more of the print. That's not the reason we use them, but the reason we use these is because a kid's not going to take a jumbo dollar bill and stick it up on their wall. But if they get these and they come up and ask us to sign them, there's a decent shot that this is going up on their wall that they're going to see for a while. It's got all our contact information on the bottom here. The other reason why is because they've got these free tricks on the back that they're going to learn. And we have a little website where we market our own tricks and all that kind of stuff. And it gives a little plug for it down at the bottom here, so it's kind of marketing that as well. So it's like a two-piece marketing piece, plus gets people to the back of the room when we do our souvenir tables. The last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is really more of a request, if you guys don't mind doing me a favor. We're putting together a program on what we do in Magic Camps. This year we did about $33,000 in 2 camps, and we're looking to double that probably this year. So we want to put together a course to teach people kind of what we know and what we've done, and we kind of want your guys' feedback before we put it together to see what would you guys be interested in learning about it. What are some questions you guys might have about it if you're interested in getting into Magic Camps. That's one of the things that we do with a lot of our clients is finding out what they want before offering it to them, if that makes sense. So if you guys don't mind filling one of these out, and then at some point, at the end of the day, end of the weekend or whatever, just handing it back to either me, Jay, or Cliff, that would be great.
what I'm going to show you today is actually not a specific campaign. I'm not going to show you a specific campaign that I've done. I'm actually just going to show you a marketing strategy, something that I've implemented myself. So I'm going to... All right, when I started out in magic, I had decided that I thought it was important to find a niche that you could actually work in. I was doing corporate walk-around stuff and banquet parties and all kinds of different things. I did a handful of things, different shows. And so I had decided to pick one of them. And I'm going to kind of go against a little bit of the grain of what a couple other of the presenters have spoken about. And I decided to go with children's shows. And then specifically a specific market. I could have daycares and elementary schools, fairs and festivals, and birthday parties. And I decided to go with birthday parties. And I know that there is a lot of logic to doing multiple streams of income and stuff like that. But I also believe, and this is through experience and my own opinion, that I think it's imperative to pick one. Pick one and become the best at it. So become the expert. And that's the strategy I took, was that I knew I could do daycares. I knew I could do all of these different things, and I could do them all at the same time. And they all... Ooh. Eric. And they all complement each other. And so I decided to go with birthday parties, and then I decided not only to go with birthday parties, but to become the expert at birthday parties. Someone said that people will always spend money on pets and kids. And so I realized that the children were always going to have birthday parties, even though the recession came around and the corporate people started suffering, the school people started suffering. But I don't think birthday parties really suffered. I think people are still spending money on birthday parties, which turned out to be a pretty good market to get into. A famous magician once said that if you're a magician for all occasions, I'm kidding, he's back there, you will work occasionally, Brad Ross. And I agree with that. I agree that I say focus on one, build it up, and then once you've achieved success, and I'm talking about major success, then start working on the other ones. I can focus, I've worked on birthday parties now for 10 years, and just this year, I decided to go into daycares. And so I focused only on birthday parties and became the best birthday party person in my area. I educated myself on the strategies and the education through some of the people that are here. Brad Ross, Julian Franklin, Eric Paul, all of these. I would buy and educate myself on anything that I could get my hands on, which ultimately I did achieve success through birthday parties. That's my van outside. I decided to go with a logo. Instead of promote myself, I decided to promote a brand name, and that's Child Time Magic. And so I focused all my energy on that. That logo was created by a graphic designer, and people in my area, which is the Washington, D.C. area, they know me, Louis the Magician, but really it's this that they see. It's a moving billboard, you know, and this isn't that hard. My car broke down, and I needed a new car. And so I decided, well, I could get a regular car, or I could buy this van and decorate it all up, and then wherever I go, there's a moving billboard going with me. I can't tell you how many calls I've gotten driving down the road, and my phone rings, which my business phone forwards to my cell phone, and they say, hey, I just saw one of your vans. I'm like, oh yeah, which one? Which one? Yeah, so anyways, so I say, yeah, and I book shows just from the van. Just the van alone books shows, which is incredible. I mean, just to think of it, I didn't do anything. The van alone, it gives me instant credibility. How many other magicians in my area have this? I can tell you there's none. And I rarely see magicians with something this big. I know Bruce, last year I saw his big wrap that he had. Amazing. If I can, don't go with the magnetic signs. It's this makes me look professional automatically. I don't have to do anything. The magnetic signs don't make you look professional automatically. So just get rid of them. I do none. Don't do any signs. Just go without them versus giving that first impression of something negative. So my strategy was to dominate the market as far as birthday parties were concerned. Once I had dominated the market, I then I raised my prices. And so I started off competitively with the rest of the magicians in my area. And then once I started to become successful at it, I then started raising my prices. And I've been raising them for the last few years, sometimes twice a year, about twice a year, I raise the prices. And I have different packages for my birthday parties. And so what's become of all of this? For the first time, this year actually broke into 6 figures this month, actually. So 6 figures this month, thank you. And all I do are birthday parties. That's it. I dabbled into daycares now. I'm dabbling, but I'm not the expert in daycares. But I am the birthday party expert in my area. John is the king, the birthday party king, and I'll be the birthday party expert. And so anyways, I don't mind. I don't mind just doing birthday parties because of the money that it brings in. I would suggest my advice would be pick the one thing that you like. Honestly, I don't like doing close-up magic for adults. Something about it, I just don't like it. I'm not as comfortable as I am standing in front of a bunch of kids and making them laugh. So that's what I went after. And my advice would be do the same thing. Go after what it is that you like to do. Become the best at it in your area. Become the best at it in your side of the country. And then move on to the next thing if you want to and continue bringing in those multiple streams of income. So what next? So now the birthday party stuff is over, and I'm consistently booked doing birthday parties. So I decided I wanted to get into the magic arena, the magic community a little bit bigger. And so I thought, well, I could invent a magic trick, but I'm not that inventive. So I thought I could write a book, but I don't like writing. Or I could compete in a magic competition, some of the magic competitions. And honestly, I do kids stuff, and so it's not as exciting as making coins disappear and stuff. So I decided. I had a strategy in mind. The first thing I decided to do was become the president of the IBM ring in my area in Washington, D.C. With that it gave me the opportunity to meet different talent, some people that I admired, especially in the children's arena. And not only that, it gave me the authority to invite them now to come to my ring and do lectures and stuff like that. So Brad Ross came. I invited Julian Franklin, but he didn't come. Chris Capehart, Barry Mitchell, Dwayne Laughlin, and Jim has been invited, and yeah, that's the next topic. So, but Julian is going to be coming. But anyway, so it gave me the authority to invite these people, which then gave me the opportunity to become friends with them and to learn a little bit more from these guys. And something Eric said last year was if you want to become successful, surround yourself with successful people. These are successful people, and I learned as much as I can from being around them and associating myself with them as much as possible. And so I thought, well, what's next? I decided to go into the presenter ring and put together a presentation on showing other people how they can achieve their goals and how I did it, and let me show you how you can do it, following the same strategy that I've used. Of course, I agree with Zig Ziglar in this one. So I contacted the leading children's conference in our country, and they declined to have me come. And the reason was because I didn't have experience. I didn't have the background. They asked me, well, what have I presented so far? Where have I presented? And it was nowhere. And so that came, of course, to a dead end. And so stop sign. So what do you do? Well, what's next? Yeah, you create your own convention. So you create your own convention. And yeah. And you name yourself lead presenter. And so I'm presenting at Capitol Convention. I'll be the first one, and I'll be putting together my presentation that I wanted to share originally. And coincidentally, who's coming? Well, of course, Brad Ross, Julian Franklin, Chris Capehart, Barry Mitchell, Tim Jack. These guys who I met earlier, who had helped me along the way, and now I had the opportunity to help them and give them an opportunity to present what they do, and also for me to continue to do what I do, and move on to that next step. So, what have I learned? Really, to sum up my presentation today is basically, when opportunity doesn't come to you, then it's up to you to go and create your own opportunity. Yes. Yeah. So I suggest if the opportunity doesn't land on your doorstep and it's not right there in front of you and you're having a hard time, then just go get it. Just go figure out a way. Spend your time. And since in my opinion, I'm focusing on that particular market, birthday parties, I have all my time in the world to just focus on one thing, and that was birthday parties. And then it continues. It just continues. If you don't see it and it doesn't show up, go get it. So I do have a couple minutes. Any questions about any of this?
Can you tell us a bit more what you're doing with the Capital Convention?
Oh, yeah. It's, you know, the biggest complaint that I had when I first started it was that it was going to be a copycat of Cadabra. And that was not my intention. My intention, I love Cadabra. I love Cadabra. I love everything that they present down there, and I love the people that are there. So, so I had to do something that was different from Cadabra, which, so Capital Convention is a convention for magicians, but also balloon artists, clowns, face painters, and ventriloquists. So there are breakout sessions for each one of those. So there's going to be general session lectures, which Brad Ross, of course, is doing one. And so that's where everyone will come. We'll all listen. And then after that, we break up, and we'll spend hours working with these different individual lectures. So that was my goal, to make it different from everyone else.
David Billen.
I guarantee this will work for me. I don't have a PowerPoint. Actually, I did have a PowerPoint, and if you're interested, I will email it to you. One of the downsides of having a wife who likes to play computer games is that she downloads stuff, and sometimes she downloads viruses. Yes, I am blaming it on her. But anyway, it's a wonderful PowerPoint that you're not going to see, so we're just going to do this off the top of the head, and I'm going to try to make this as scintillating as I can, because I know everybody's bladder is probably ready to burst, and you all want to get out and see what the experts have. Find a niche. Know what your market is. My market is the Army. As I mentioned before, I work for Fort Campbell. Spent 27 years working for the military, the past 19 at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Now, if you don't live near a military installation, it may not be something that strikes you as a potential source of revenue on a very large scale. According to the military, the Fort Campbell community, the installation itself, when you take into account the pay of the soldiers, the pay of the civilians, the construction that goes on, the retirees who live in the area, the income, the impact, economic impact in the Clarksville, Fort Campbell area is $3.2 billion. $3.2 billion. Now, I'm not going to touch any of the construction work. Obviously, what I'm looking at is the soldiers, their families. The installation itself has 7 schools on it. They've got preschools, they've got a library, there's 7 chapels on it, after-school programs. They've got their own hospital. I mean, it's a city. And there is a brief called the City of Fort Campbell. Everything that the regular city has, the installation has. I've been lucky enough to work on that installation as the multimedia manager. And it's nice when you know how everything works. There's 2 streams of income that come onto the installation from your tax dollars. One is called appropriated fund, and the other is called non-appropriated. Appropriated fund money, I'll just tell you this so you all have a little information. Appropriated fund money is that defense spending bill that you hear about. Non-appropriated fund is funding that the installation has to earn for morale support activities. Sales at the PX, renting horses at the stables. And It's the non-appropriated fund money. If you work anywhere near a military installation, NAF funding, that's the magic phrase, NAF, funding is the only kind of money that you're going to get out of the government, working any kind of a program. Because appropriated fund, very difficult to break into. Contracting is a long, laborious process, and the contracting office works based on low bid, not on specific talent. And that's why we had a shuttle blow up on us a couple of decades ago. But within the installation itself, you have all these private organizations. Each of the units, the 101st Airborne Division, Air Assault, is the major unit on Fort Campbell. They by themselves have 21,000 soldiers. Add all the other units there and you come up to about 31,000 soldiers. Each of the units has a family readiness group. These are the spouses that are gathering together when the soldiers are gone. These are women who have money and no husband. Now, some of them get into trouble, but most of them try to do the right thing for their kids. So there's a great opportunity to get into this. Now, let me stop for just a second and tell you that personally, I've gone through some health issues this year. I've gone through about $200,000 worth of medical problems, 4 surgeries. I've got a sling I should be wearing right now. And my plan for implementing all this has been put on hold until February because I can't perform. I can lift about a newspaper in this hand, and that makes it a little bit difficult. So I'm telling you what I'm doing. Obviously, I don't plan on winning this, but what I would like is your input. If you hear something and you say, you know, based on that, I got an idea, please let me know, because this is what I'm looking for. This is why I'm here. But by the same token, if you're around a military installation, there's some possibilities here for you. As I said, you've got the family readiness groups. There's about 50 of them on the installation. Each family readiness group has about 750 soldiers, probably about 200 wives, 200 families that work on. You've got Army Community Service. They put on programs. They put on kid carnivals. They've got exceptional family member programs, kids with special needs. You've got low-ranking enlisted soldiers, families. They put on summer camps for these kids because the parents don't have a lot of money. These are opportunities for me to be able to break into the market. And frankly, I'm not going to be able to charge them great deals of money. Last night, my aha moment that we have here, David said corporate sponsorship. And it is huge. There are about 5 or 6 businesses. It's a small community, 150,000 people outside the installation. But the auto dealership is one of the biggest sponsors because they sell cars to the soldiers. Ed Rufo, I mean, I know the guy by name. He's built an Eagles Rest facility for single soldiers. Anytime he can get his face on the paper, handing a check off to the installation commander, he's there. This is not going to be a problem. So, Tim, I owe you a huge debt of gratitude for that. But one of the things that I found in working with this, I've set up the media and background for visits from the President of the United States, Chief of Staff of the Army, the big wigs that come in. And the installation, the people that live outside the installation know that the economy depends on Fort Campbell. Fort Campbell closes down, everything dries up and blows away, literally. First deployment after 9/11, the economy dropped by about 60%. And there were about, on the strip right outside the installation, about 15% of the businesses went belly up. So you're part of the fort, you're a force to be reckoned with. And knowing the people who are near the top is kind of like a chain reaction. I've got one friend who is the wife of a sergeant major. Now, her husband is a member of the 101st Airborne Association. He's a member of the AMVETS. He's a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And he's also a member of the Association of the United States Army. All 4 of those organizations put on activities for kids at Christmas time. We said good friends, all ins. She's a member of the Officer Spouses Club. It used to be the Officers Wives Club, but they've gone politically correct. She's also a member of Altrusa. She's a member of the Red Hats. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Red Hat organization. They're involved in the Clarksville Museum. And that in turn gets me with the Clarksville Chamber of Commerce. By talking to my friends and involving myself in the activities that they're part of, and there's a bit of an investment involved. I mean, I've got to join the organizations. I can't just go there and expect them to pony up the money and bring me in as a mercenary. I'm in turn going to be very well positioned over a couple of other competitors. There are only 3 magicians in our area. One of them is a former soldier. Another one is a politician. He's got 2 strikes against him starting out as it is. But this is the goal that I've got. And basically we're looking at 2 different markets, 2 different websites. One of them is for kids, mysticdave.com, and have another website which is davidmystic.com. Mystic Dave, Kid Magic. David Mystic would be the one that does the stuff for the Red Hats and the VFW, the social parties afterwards. I would have gone davidbillen.com, but as Eric showed, nobody gets my name right. 50 years on this planet, and they either misspell it or mispronounce it. So putting my name on a website doesn't work. And people get nervous when they look at my name and they go to pronounce it. So I just get rid of that. I just, you know, I'm just Dave, or go with Mystic Dave. A couple of things that I've got as part of my marketing campaign. The installation newspaper, the person who oversees the contract and is the editor, close personal friend, provided I'm willing to do a couple of shows for free, I'll get a front page. The MWR magazine, that's a paid gig. The MWR is always looking to make money. It's basically like parenting. The circulation's a little bit smaller, but it goes to the market. It's targeted to the installation. Being with the installation commander, any of you know Dave Petraeus, 4-star? Well, I worked with him back when he was a lieutenant colonel. He is an in that I've got. Again, it's one of those, send a letter. Who is it that does the fax? Yeah, same kind of thing. All I got to do is put the fax, send it to him, have him sign off on it, and I'll be utilizing that technique as well. So I'm stealing from all of you guys, and I greatly, greatly appreciate that. So, but the bottom line is that for the military, you've got, since 9/11,